And we're back. What's up, everybody? Sorry for the hiatus last week. We all had some things we had to take care of, but we're back. Episode 12, getting into these 2021 prospects, two Heisman Trophy candidates, some burners at the running back position, Chuba Hubbard and Travis Etienne. What's up, Nick? What's up, Garrett?
Nothing, man. I'm excited. This is our time to shine, and I feel, and I shouldn't feel this way, but I feel jaded every year because I've been working on these guys, like people talk about Jonathan Taylor. I've been studying him since, New Jersey high school. And then every year, and so now we get to do this, but share it with everybody well in advance. So next year when they're like, man, Keyshawn Vaughn, it's like, yeah, man, Keyshawn Vaughn was my boy like, a year ago, so now,
Yeah,
we get to share some of that. So it's kind of exciting.
for sure.
No, I agree, man. It is funny how because before I got into Devy, it was only just, really getting into these rookies. And now I feel like I have like a ownership piece of these guys, which is stupid. But it's like, oh, you guys are just now talking about them. We've been talking about them for years. Like that's silly,
Yeah.
But and then people are like, oh, I really like him. I'm like, well, you can't like him more than me because I've known him longer. So
Exactly.
that's not possible.
Who's
Which is really stupid, but I do that.
Who's like your first guy, Garrett? You're like, hey, like I feel like I was like first on this guy.
Well, see, I didn't really start Devy until this year.
Okay.
So this was my first year where this class was guys that I studied over a year ago. You know what I mean? So like I was just getting into Devy as the draft happened last year was kind of when I made that transition. Other than just like scouting, like I knew some of the big guys, the big names that were underclassmen, but other than that, I didn't really know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I have a few, but that's because I was in this Devy stuff before it was a thing, really.
Yeah.
So
You were one of the OGs, man.
yeah. So, Corey Davis and Cortland Sutton are kind of the two guys, and, there's going to be more, we'll talk about it as they kind of come up and, some from this last class, but we're going to talk about a guy tonight that I'm pretty high on. Jared, I think, is excited to hear me talk about him and to dive into him. So that's Travis Etienne. So, any initial thoughts you have on him, Garrett?
Yeah, I was huge on Etienne all off season. It wasn't until the very end when I assumed he was coming out, and everybody kind of assumed he was coming out. He was my number one for a while. I eventually gave way to Swift and had Swift one, but it was like very reluctantly because I really really like his tape, the burst, the ability, and I'll probably highlight it 15 times, but the ability to get from 0 to 60 off of contact is really, really impressive.
I think both of these guys actually share that ability, so it's gonna be fun.
There's
there's gonna be a lot of big plays happening tonight.
Let me share one thing, and I'm with you, and we'll talk about traits. And I'm not a huge numbers guy, as people know, but I don't think you can ignore numbers. These are some career numbers, and this is what highlights a little bit of it for me, because people love Taylor and now they love Edwards-Helaire, which we all liked, prior to his landing spot, and Dobbins and Swift, etc. Career numbers, okay. So I put this tweet out actually December on Christmas this last year, and I bumped it up talking about Etienne probably a week ago or so. But out of Taylor, Dobbins, Etienne, Vaughn, Swift, Akers, Hubbard, we'll talk about tonight, Najee Harris, Edwards-Helaire, Eno Benjamin, etc. Etienne has the most rushing touchdowns out of any of those guys. Okay. He has the best yards per carry by
a lot.
A 1 point.
He's almost at 9.
1.4. He's at 8 flat. That's what I have here.
Okay. At one point, I know this past season he was like pushing 9, which was ridiculous.
Maybe on the season, yeah, maybe.
He's the career leader in touchdowns in the ACC.
Right, and the thing is so he did this 54 touchdowns on 493 carries. We think of Taylor. Taylor had 905 carries and he had 4 less touchdowns. He had 412 more carries and 4 less touchdowns. That's insane.
That is insane.
And we think of just Etienne, he's just this fast guy. We're going to see tonight there's way more to his game, and he does it really well.
Absolutely, couldn't agree more.
Yeah, hyper efficiency has always been a metric that people throw out there with him. Let's see here. But yeah, we're gonna start off with Chuba tonight. Actually, that's how we have it lined up here. So you
We
guys
gave that big intro for Etienne, and now we're going to.
You know
Chuba.
what? No, we're gonna switch it and go to Etienne just
He
because.
can't
of
control
that.
Jared. He just does what he wants.
Hey, listen. I know what's gonna happen here. Post production, we're gonna throw up the Etienne video, so it makes it a lot easier for me if we can just chop off a little bit of it and then go right into Etienne.
I mean, do you have any initial thoughts on Chuba? If we're going to start with him.
Nope, start with Etienne.
Oh, we're starting with Etienne. Okay, good.
Switching
Good.
it up.
Hey,
Yeah,
Phil.
so
Steve, we got some guys coming in here.
yeah, we're people are starting to trail in here a little bit.
Now, this will be interesting because I think we had a lot of people that were draft fans that would watch the Film Nerds for those breakdowns for the draft. It'll be interesting to see who's in here tonight for, these Devy guys, because you're not touching these guys unless you're in a Devy league for at least one more season.
I'm sure most people are like, why are they covering 2021 guys
Why-
already?
why
Like,
do
these
they
guys are
care?
crazy. Like, yes, we are crazy.
All right, Mel Kiper.
Did you guys put out a link here? Because I don't see it.
I retweeted it from the Nerds account because we're live.
Okay.
If you just go to the
Doing it
Oh, there
live.
it is.
Nerds page.
Is that it? No, that's not it. There it is. Yep. Okay. I'll get it.
Doing it live, baby. So yeah, I pulled up our Devy rankings here. So as you can see, both these guys are RB1, RB2, arguably interchangeable pretty much.
Jared, are these two guys your 1 and 2 running backs, or do you have somebody else in those slots for the 2021 class?
Right now, I think I have Najee 2 and then Chuba 3.
Okay. What about you?
Yeah, same for me. And there's a lot to Chuba's game that I don't see there. I think he's a little bit more athlete than running back. But the thing is, in his game, with his catching ability and how he can break away in space, that's more of an NFL thing, I think, almost more than a college potentially. But he needs to learn how to run between the tackles and cut better. But he kind of
Actually, I have him 4, so I'm in the same boat.
behind Max.
No, I'm not even a big Borgie guy.
Yeah, I'm not
Me
I
neither.
actually have Kylan Hill 3.
I'm gonna throw up.
I like Kylan Hill. I do. I like
run,
him.
man. He just
I
like
know. Gosh, he takes like strides of a toddler.
Just wait. He's gonna be in Leach's system this year.
Yeah, I
and
mean,
all of
he's
a
a
sudden people are
huge-
gonna be like, "Oh, look
All right.
at this guy."
Chat. He is gonna be such a sell high candidate in Devy, in my opinion, because he's gonna get so much volume in that system. He's gonna catch so many balls. People are gonna be all over him. But when you really break down the tape, like Garrett hasn't yet, you're gonna see he just doesn't have those traits that are gonna translate to the next level.
oh, bringing the fire already. That's good.
You know what?
Let's
You know what,
get into the
J-Wack?
film.
I remember a conversation last year where I was like, how do you feel about Jacobs versus Montgomery? And you're like, oh man, I really like Monty. I was like, you're an idiot. So just wait. Just
hey,
wait.
you're the one
It'll
who
all
just
come
drafted
around.
Montgomery, didn't you? Didn't you just draft Montgomery in our
think so.
startup? Oh yeah, you did. I have text messages. Oh, I think Montgomery's
I
way
mean,
undervalued.
I
Right
actually do think Monty's undervalued right now.
now. I agree with you. I
You,
think
you
he
can
is
get him.
too.
You can get him as like your running back, like 24 overall.
Good. Where he belongs.
Gotta
We
love
know
the
how you
fans
feel
here.
about Monty, Nick.
Yeah,
right.
I don't even want to get started on that. So let's get into some ETN here. I got a couple good cut-ups here in line. First one is versus
Yeah.
Boston College. He had a good game here. Let me make sure.
I mean, you could basically click any ETN game and say he had a good game.
Yep.
Dude had an incredible. He's had an incredible career.
Yeah. Hold on here.
And the thing I like too is that I'm, and you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think he had this big of an expectation coming into Clemson.
Here we go.
No,
You
no,
know,
he
and-
didn't have the hype that some of these other players did.
he didn't have the hype of Feaster, who's
Yeah.
supposed to be the guy.
Yeah.
So I have a lot of respect for a guy that worked hard, and now he's just catch me if you can.
Sounds like he's a great kid too.
Georgia boy, right?
I thought he's Louisiana.
Oh, yeah,
Etienne.
you're right. Louisiana. You're right.
Yeah. So surprised everybody on the deadline day to declare if he was coming out or not.
Throws him a bit. And on the run, a flea flicker. Throws him a bit. And on the run, the hand
Right there. I mean, that's an efficient, just little subtle jump cut.
Yeah. I'm going to turn the volume down
He's
on this.
an efficient mover, too. I like that. Do you know how many stars he was coming out? I do not know the off the top of my
I believe
head.
he was a 4-star.
I was going to say we can look it up real quick.
Look at that. That's just...
He just
How he-
explodes, man.
Well, but he knows the angle. He knows how far he has to go to not get tackled here.
Yep. And,
Like, he's
and
not
that's
going
when
all the way
that's one
wide.
thing you won't see a ton is he's not a huge side to side mover, but you're right. He's very efficient in his movements, little subtle moves here and there just to break off the angles of the defenders.
Can you go back one more time?
This angle?
That's fine. Either way, just go through. Remember last, and again, I don't know if you guys were doing this then, but last spring when the whispers came out, oh, he gets nervous when a pass gets thrown his way.
It was because of that quote.
And he said it, but I think he's just being too honest. He's just a kid.
What was the
Yeah.
Look at
quote?
him right here.
It was more or less that he gets nervous when the ball's thrown. He starts looking around like
Right.
Why would
he
you ever say
improved a
that?
lot as a pass catcher this year.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. What do you say, Jared? Sorry.
I said, why would you ever say that?
Wow.
Yeah, so he was 4 stars coming out, it looks like. 15th overall running back. 9th prospect in Louisiana.
Ooh, that burst.
Good night. I mean, that's a big hole. I'll just
Yeah,
say that right
look at
there.
that
It's a
hole.
big hole. So
Oh, it's a huge hole.
He did, but you can see the burst.
Before everything came out that he was going to go back to school, he was the guy that I wanted to end up in Baltimore. I thought him and Lamar Jackson would have been so much fun.
For sure.
I mean, as a Browns fan, I would have hated that, but
Yeah. Off the top, do you guys have any, like, nah, it's too early to say, but
Comps
do you think
or
there's
what?
any, like, NFL teams that you can project needing a running back next year that would be a good landing spot
Texans.
for these guys?
Yeah, it's
Texans a
little
good
early.
one. Falcons, I feel like, would be they just traded for Gurley, or
Chicago.
didn't trade him. So Chicago.
forever Chicago.
Can we, while we have this going on, what do you guys think about all of the rumors of supplemental draft?
I think it's likely to happen. However, I don't think guys like Etienne and Hubbard are going to come out just because of the amount of money that they would lose out on.
Would they be losing that much? Would it draft? And honestly, I'm asking that as a genuine question.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like, is the contract structuring different for the supplemental draft than it would be for the regular NFL draft?
I believe so, and I've looked for the exact numbers, but I haven't found them yet.
Okay.
But I think it's be like a substantially different amount than like a first
Really?
round or second round draft pick, which is weird to me because if a team is going to forfeit like a first round 2021 pick to pick a guy,
Right, it should be the
they
same.
should be the same. Yeah. So
Right. But it won't be a draft slot, though. You know what I mean? It would just be like a general first round pick value, a general
Right,
second,
whatever
you know
they
what I mean?
whatever they get.
It wouldn't
Yeah.
be top 5 or yeah. So
what do you guys think?
I mean, this is just such a weird time. I mean, guys could declare, you know, and go with supplemental. Like, is that because there's not going to be a college season, but there could be a pro season? I mean, it could be weird, you know?
It would be weird to have one without the other. That would jack everything up more so than both either not happening or happening.
Right.
I read something a couple days ago about it possibly taking place in the spring. Just because the
Heard that
amount of these
rumor.
programs, like there's so many other like sports that operate on the revenue that football generates for a lot of these universities. So like if football doesn't happen, they're losing out on so much money. And like even if the season does happen, I was talking to Ray about this the other day, like there's still going to be so many people not coming to games, not buying food, not buying beer, and like it's just crazy the trickle effect that all of this is having.
Well, and there's only a few universities. I don't know what the exact number is. I know about 6-7 years ago, there was only 7 universities that were actually self-sufficient in their athletic program. And it was the biggest ones. It was, Ohio State, Alabama, Texas, USC. Like it was the biggest ones were self-sufficient. Other ones, they were in the negative as far as like their revenue and stuff like that. And you can only imagine that it's going to be even more difficult without most of the school's main money makers, with the exception of like Duke. Basketball would be their bigger money maker, but
Right.
Yeah.
I would guess 80% of colleges, football is their biggest money maker.
No, I'm with you. All right, let's get back into it. Sorry, just an idea. I just was curious what you guys thought.
Yeah, no, it's a good conversation. It's a hot topic right now. Gosh, he's so fast.
Well, that's just understanding angles. Like right there, he's like, nope, and he redirects to go wider. That's just smart. Right here, watch his initial path there. Nope, wider.
Yep.
And he knows his speed.
And for a lighter back, he's not being brought down very often by arm tackles, which is impressive because I think he's probably only weighing in at 205 range. He's not a big kid.
He's 215, I thought.
That was what Clemson listed him as on the site. But I think like his official weigh-in, I think I'll go back, but right before the season, I think it was 207 on their like official weigh-in day.
I know he said he ate too much home cooking and got up to like 218, I think, in the spring. And
He's so honest.
Wanted to lose some. I know. So.
I read an article earlier that he like skipped classes for a few days before making his announcement to play 2K with his buddies and stuff, just to clear his head. It's like, all right.
Wow. Maybe that's an issue, being too honest.
Yeah. You don't have to tell
Dude,
us
look
everything.
at that.
I mean, right there. I mean, you're worried about the size, and I'm not.
I didn't say I was worried about that.
Okay.
I said he does not get brought down
right.
by arm tackles for somebody that's a little bit undersized.
Yeah.
So
I mean, right there, that's... Go ahead, Jared. I'm sorry.
Somebody asked in the chat if there's any issues with his pad level. They feel like he runs a little high. His poust.
Well, I think that's the style now. I think guys generally run high, and then they get low if there's contact coming. I don't think people run low anymore. And that's just because guys are lighter. Defenders are lighter. They don't have to, Look at that. He got 2 guys, lowers his shoulder, then another one. Man, that's impressive.
Yeah, and on top of being super explosive and fast, I always felt like he had good contact balance.
Come on, T-Law. That was a bad snap, actually.
It was.
Right there. And I know people are like, well, that's a 2-yard gain. You want to go back? There's a guy in the hole. He knows that and cuts off of it. Stop it right there. If you can go back.
Yeah, sorry.
You're
Here.
fine.
Do you want me to slow it down?
Well, I'm just saying, if you just want, go bit by bit, you can just see it. But look how big or how quick this reaction time has to be. Gets the handoff now. Now you can see, nope, one-on-one with a guy. Nope, I can cut off of here. And he's not a humongous cutter, but that's enough.
Well,
this is it. Gets 2 yards versus not getting 2 yards.
With me too, this is something that I bring up more often than I probably even need to. But a big thing for me is watching a running back's feet on contact. When guys' legs go dead, that's a big concern for me. You see, even through that run, his legs were still going, got him that extra yard or so.
Mm-hmm.
So
there's some guys over here. PK Fool 3, 4, 5. What are our thoughts going into next year? We're going to get to that. That's what this process is. Better power than the big running back on the other side of the field. Touche there, Josh. And we'll get to some of the other stuff too.
Broken tackle.
Hey, AJ Dillon's backup last year, David Bailey. He's nice.
I actually low-key liked him a little bit more than Dylan.
Yeah, I like his game a little bit, so I picked him up in a C2C league.
There you go. So, this one, it's, he should break this tackle of 34. This one, he's fighting. Like, I love that fight.
Mm-hmm. I got to start letting the play out and then running it back. Saw some
fine.
YouTube comments getting pissed at me for it.
but even there, he sees that kind of adjust to 34, so he can't have the angle on him. He's just an efficient runner. I really like efficient runners.
Yeah.
This is what Cam Akers is not.
He sees it and just takes it, man. And he can take it.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Yeah, I'm trying to remember this game. I watched a lot of his. I don't know if he has any like crazy massive long runs in this game, but he has a lot of runs like this where it's like just good chunks of yardage.
Yep.
And it's funny because stylistically they're not the same runner, but in the open field he has some similarities to Jonathan Taylor where he's not going to make those big cuts, but just those subtle little adjustments to get those angles. Yeah, it's good to see.
And I love this angle too because he like starts like here in the A gap and then like he keeps it there to attract the linebacker up to get that block.
Yeah.
And then he cuts.
Mm-hmm. And actually, if you stop this, I mean, when he has that initial A gap, and you read it, you might want to think backside A. You know what I mean? You see that opening there? He's gonna go up to him, but then that guy comes off of there. So that might be him understanding the scheme and pre-snap, which that's something people don't think about. I mean, running backs need to pre-snap and see where they think the holes are going to go. That's why Frank Gore's been great for years. He always talks about that. His pre-snap reads help him so much.
Yeah, this is a 5-on-5. Look at the box; it's empty.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And you got that backer that he beat there with 34. I mean, he's apexing, which if people know what apexing is when you split the difference between that slot receiver and the end tackle on the line of scrimmage. Yeah, I don't think it's a bad read or anything he did there necessarily, especially because T-Law's doing the fake one hole over from him.
Give me 1 second, guys. Sorry.
No, you're fine. I mean, he's fighting away here, making me a bit better cut in there. I don't think so. I think it's trash, and he got a yard out of it and kept his feet.
And he followed his blockers. I mean, he had the pulling guard right there.
Oh, that cut. Look at that cut. Has it. And he catches the ball, and then boom, there's a guy right there. So this is all reaction. Look at that. Keeps his feet.
And he got in.
And that's the thing that I like so much about him is that people will watch highlights and they'll talk about his speed, but this is the part that I like about him. Good decisions, makes efficient cuts, and he runs tough. Honestly, Garrett, I know that you're a huge Vaughn fan. If you want to take like Keyshawn Vaughn and put him on steroids and take like 0.1 or more off of his 40 time, that's who Etienne is.
I don't hate that. I would have never put that together had you not said that. But I actually don't hate that because he really is just a faster Keyshawn Vaughn.
Mm-hmm. I mean, efficient in every way. Tough.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Not going to make the spectacular move. Good catcher, but nothing like crazy special in that area.
Mm-hmm. And the reason Etienne is so much better, I think, is I think that I think he has a little better contact balance than Vaughn, but then he has the speed.
Mm-hmm.
Looks like we got some questions in here. Is it wrong to think he looks like a little like Kamara with his improved pass catching this past year?
I think Kamara's a lot more agile than Etienne in terms of making people miss. And his contact balance is ridiculous, which I think Etienne's is good, but that's what makes Kamara special. Kamara can't touch Etienne's straight line burst, in my opinion. They're different in that way.
Yeah. Anybody have a pro comp for him? Cody's asking.
Yeah, we just kind of did that, I think. I mean, we did a college comp.
I was doing something real quick.
Yeah, I was trying to think of some in the preseason that I loved at the NFL level, and there wasn't any that I loved because a lot of the speed players don't have the contact balance and the toughness that I think Etienne has, and so that's why I had a hard time. You could go to the generic like, oh, Chris Johnson, like you can go with those generic comps, but I think Etienne is much better between the tackles than Chris Johnson ever was. And I think even though I think his straight line speed is good, I think it's his acceleration that is special. You know, once he gets going, like he's still got very good speed, but it's that right now, right off of contact, right off of catching a pass, right off of getting the handoff. That's what's really, really special. And that's what creates that separation and that yardage at the NFL level.
And the thing too is, you know, I think that if you want to make like a comp, I mean, like you're saying, like Chris Johnson, all this kind of stuff. I don't think he has. I think his time speed's going to disappoint people, but he makes the quick decisions to use his athletic gifts quicker than most people. He's aggressive in traffic. He's aggressive at the second level. You know, he kind of runs recklessly even. Here's another comp that's a little bit different. You want to think of a smaller version, or probably a better cutting version of Jonathan Taylor. You get a guy, you cut about 10 or 15 pounds off of him, kind of similar. Not amazing hands, solid hands, efficient movers.
I don't hate that. I kind of like that, actually, because their movement style when they're running with the ball is very similar. They're not like
what
jump
I just
cutters.
said, but now Nick's going to get the credit for it, so it's fine. Literally said Jonathan Taylor 10 minutes ago, but you know, whatever.
Did you really?
Did you?
Yes.
Oh,
yes,
wow.
I said it's those subtle movements after he gets the ball. He doesn't make any big cuts. It's very similar to Jonathan Taylor.
Wow.
Rich was
Run the
texting
tape
me.
back.
I was texting
Run
Rich.
it back.
Man. I had you on mute like normal. So
Oh, that's fair.
Yeah, Garrett talks. I'm just like tuning it out. I'm just kidding.
well, maybe I was reading comments.
You know
what
the
was
hilarious
funny-
part is Rich literally did that last night on the Nerds podcast.
Did he?
Where I was talking, and of course, you know, Rich goes on forever. So I get my like 30 seconds in, and then it's like dead air, and I was like, Rich? He's like, oh wait, what? What?
We got one over here. This is fun. So Tiny DeTree. Do you guys think Will Shipley coming in changes anything for Etienne next year?
No.
Man, you're a Devy guy. Talking about Will Shipley already.
No.
I don't think so. I think, Travis Etienne. I mean, people want to talk about T Law, you know. I think Etienne's more important to that team than T Law is. I think you're going to feed him.
That's spicy.
I mean, Trevor Lawrence is good. He's a good player. Don't get me wrong.
Here's a good
But-
route, man. Like, it's not a bad route out of the backfield.
But I mean, Etienne is. You want to think about some of that game. I mean, you could get an average quarterback and get 70% of what T Law's doing, but you're going to get another running back in there. Think of Feaster.
Between the
Good physical run.
But that's patient to let that open up.
Yeah, I wonder if they replay this year.
Oh, that'd be great if they could.
Yep, they do.
So to answer your question, I think they're going to just ride Etienne. Oh yeah, but look, he knows he's washing that down.
Yeah, he sees the block coming.
Patient. Mm-hmm.
Look at that.
Yes, that's.
I mean, because this is
even
a
made him
lot of
bait.
shit here.
Yep.
Sorry, go ahead, Garrett.
No, it would have been tempting to go to the right there, but that was going to close up real quick, and he saw that, so he got him to bite to go to the right, and then get skinny through that hole.
Mm-hmm. Get
That's what
physical.
I'm saying. He's a way better mover. Some of the thread says
I'd like to
Felix
see him get his
Jones,
pads down a little lower, but he still manages to run the guy
but he-
over.
but he kind of goes sideways there. You can kind of see with that contact, and that's smart too.
Yeah,
Because
just-
you try and go square on that, I don't think he's going to fit through as much.
He does have a very you see it much more so on the longer runs, but he has a very unique gait to his run.
Yes.
It's more of a gallop than it is Ruggs is it's real pretty when he does it. His is he's galloping but he's cruising though, man.
Yeah. Well, remember AP? AP was kind of like that, where he's
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's almost a little hitch in it.
Yeah. The other thing that's interesting with Etienne is he oddly has some flex ability in weird ways he contorts himself to make cuts and break tackles and stay, upright. That's one thing I kind of enjoy with him on film.
One thing I will say from going back, and we haven't got to see much of it so far tonight in this game, but he is not very good in pass protection. That is something he will have to get better at.
Man, look at that cut.
they love running that play, that delay,
Yep.
draw.
That was some good side-to-side agility.
Yeah.
That was good.
Not bad. What's up, Ed? Ed Garcia said, "What's up?"
Okay, so do you guys see Joseph's comment over here?
Might have missed it. Let's see.
It's on the bottom.
Go Tigers.
How do you say that word?
Go. It's
go.
French.
That's why I like Burrow when he did that.
Okay. I have no clue. That's why I was going to ask. No idea. Okay.
I think the real pronunciation is "Go Tigers."
Was that your Louisiana accent?
Wow.
No, that was my Ed Orgeron.
Oh, okay. All right.
Not bad.
That's still bad, but I can live with it.
That's funny.
Yeah, how's he keep his composure and see this?
Man, and he's not worried about the trash either. Like, that's just
That he beat
confident in your abilities.
These guys have this angle too. Look at this.
I know. Does he outrun this angle?
Yep.
Oh, that's dirty. Oh, that's dirty.
Run it back full speed again.
How does he? He's like Houdini.
Garrett, that's that start you're talking about.
It's special. I legitimately, and I know it's high praise for a guy that hasn't even come out yet, but like I don't know that I can confidently say that I've ever seen somebody that can get from 0 to 60 that quickly. Like that acceleration is just, it's special. I can't pinpoint one player that I think does it definitively better than him.
And that's why I would have him top in this class if he came out.
Him and Swift were battling that entire time for me, and then he didn't come out, and broke my heart.
I got him in so many Devy leagues.
So we got
a lot too.
Florida State game here. Oh,
and he can
slinging
pass.
Doing his Nick Whalen.
Oh yeah, right. Man, he doesn't even load it.
He doesn't.
I don't know. That
No
more
load.
like a
No hip rotation. All arm.
I think
He
that
said,
might
I'm
be,
getting it there.
Travis May throwing for him there.
Oh, that is Travis May throwing for.
Hey, I seen your video, Travis. I seen it.
I was talking down about Justin Ross.
in
That's
my
something someone else
league.
will cover at some point.
Yeah, he had a real disappointing sophomore campaign. I shouldn't say real disappointing, but compared to what the expectations were.
Well, the expectations came from the playoff run.
Mhm.
I mean, you go prior to that, it was okay freshman year.
Look at
But,
that. Keep churning those legs.
but I think he's just not the athlete that people thought he could be. I think he's the limited athlete.
Justin
Good ball
Ross?
skills. Yeah.
Yeah, real good ball skills, but I agree. I mean, I think his athleticism is a little better than what T. Higgins shows.
Ooh, I like Higgins more as an athlete.
Okay.
We'll see. We'll break him down at some point.
Right.
Look at that. He's even getting knocked over, and his legs are still going. Like he just can't. Like I love that. I love it. Even in the air,
He
his
knocks
legs
the
are still
shit
going.
out of that safety, too.
Do you want to go back the play before? Sorry, there was one thing I liked that he did here. So obviously he's going super fast through here, and it's an open hole. But he has a lot of choices here. He can go outside of Ross. He can go between those two. He could go inside of 3, right? But he dips inside of 3, trying to bait the corner, and then tries to split the 2 receivers here, which I like. He doesn't initially go there. He tries to bait him. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I just think that's next level stuff, because he's like, well, this is about even. I'm going to try this and see what happens.
Nick, what do you think his 40 will be? Because everybody's seen the video of him and Isaiah Simmons,
The experts.
running back and forth, and basically the exact same time they stopped at the very end. It looked like Etienne got it. So I mean that tells us he's probably running right around a 4.4 flat.
That's what I was
He's
going to
around
say.
a 4.39. So he's going to be in that 4.37 to 4.41 range probably.
Mm-hmm.
And I think probably like a 4.42 is about what I think he's going to get. You think the official times? I don't think it really matters. We know he's fast. I don't think he's going to be a 4.35. I don't think he has that in him because I think he also
Chuba might.
and Chuba could.
He's a sprinter.
Gosh,
He was one of the
Do you guys
top
watch his film?
shovel pass.
6 fastest 16-year-olds in the country when he was 16. It's crazy.
Do you guys see his film in Canada when in
No.
high school?
I know he's like this like ultra popular athlete, the like celebrity in Canada.
It's just interesting watching Canada high school football tape.
I have to watch that. I bet it's unreal.
Yeah.
I saw he had over 3,000 yards in his high school like year or something, and they could have had like way more, but they took him out of the games all the time.
Kevin from Facebook asked, where would we have ranked Etienne and Chuba had they come out this year?
Here we go.
And so obviously we have to go with pre-landing spot because these guys don't get a landing spot. So pre-draft, where would you have had? I know Nick, you said you had him 1, right? You probably would have had him 1.
Yeah. Let me look at my rankings. If you want to go first, I can.
I probably would have ended up. It would have been very close between Swift, Etienne, and Dobbins. I would have had a very hard time differentiating them. Chuba would have been much lower for me. He would have been below. He would have been below Akers. He would have been below Vaughn. So he probably would have come in around 7 range in that ballpark. And had Najee come out, I would have had him ahead of him as well. So, yeah, probably around the 7 range for Chuba.
Yeah, we're the same. I just checked actually. So if we're counting everybody comes out that could have come out, Etienne would have been 1, and then I would have had the same way. I would have had Chuba behind Najee as well, so that would have bumped him down to 9.
Okay. Yep.
But like people said, like, oh, like you hate Chuba. Well, like I just don't think he's a superstar, similar to Akers, but still could be a decent back in the NFL. You know what I mean?
This is a great class. It's a very, very good deep class.
Mm-hmm. You know, one thing I want to talk about as we're watching this game here is people, they really, really talk down about guys that go back to school. And I don't get it. I know people are like, oh, they're going to lose so much money. Do you know how cool it is for him to go back here, dominate college football, maybe win another national championship? You know you have a loaded team, be the big man on campus.
Yeah.
I loved college. I had so much fun there. There's not as much pressure as the NFL. And you're in the mix with all these other really good backs. It's like, man, go back to college, dominate again. You already know it's going to be good. The only issue is if you get hurt. And you know what?
Yeah.
People have that threat. Todd Gurley was a top pick, blowing his knee out. Chubb blew his knee out and was still a high second. I mean, what is the risk? If he, busts up his knee, he's still going to be a day 2 pick at worst.
Look at that. Look at that play. Run that back real quick. Could have easily gone out of bounds here. What does he do? Lowers his shoulder and actually almost kept his balance even.
That's that weird flexibility I was talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Even you were talking about his ability that first to stay in bounds. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
He's got some really good control.
Good vision here.
That's a good way to describe it, Nick. He rarely ever seems out of control when he's playing.
But there's some guys that just know one speed, and it's not good for him to do that. Oh, I see you, T-Law. Look at that fake.
T-Law is a fucking...
Ooh.
He's a hell of a runner, too.
Oh, man, he almost broke that.
And that's the thing, like, we were talking about earlier, his size. People don't know how tough this guy is running traffic.
Well, and that's the thing. You mentioned that he could have lost some money, so to speak. I think he could have gained money. This was a very talented class. There was question whether he would be second round, like where he was going to go in there.
They gave him
some teams that maybe viewed him more as a scat back and
second round grade.
All of this stuff, and could fall to the third. Well, now he's probably going to be the top back in his class. And if there's any back right now that would go in the first, I would say it would be Etienne. I could see Najee as well. But, those would be the two that have the highest chance. I still think it's going to be very similar to this year where teams are just going to wait till the second.
And we're seeing more and more teams, like, they love speed, dude.
See, there I think he could have cut it back. Like he missed his hole here. I know he's reading the pullers, but backside could have been there.
He could outrun that guy.
That's a mess in there. He's trusting his blockers more, I think.
Yeah, I think he's trusting his blockers because was that 32, 42? 42 was unblocked, and he had the outside leverage there. So I don't know that he would have. I mean, he has the speed to maybe do it, but
right there, I think he missed it too.
Well, and that was an example of running high as well. He needed to get lower here. He kind of got popped.
Right. I mean, he could have cut to 75, his left tackle, and then cut inside to 74. I think that's the play here.
Phil says, I think he can benefit of learning to change speeds. He's so fast it hurts his lateral agility sometimes.
Maybe, but we also saw him be really patient at the goal line, too. You know what I mean? I don't think it's one of those things he doesn't have. Maybe he could be more consistent, but you know that one when he was waiting for them to double up.
See a
the
little
backer?
pass
Pro
up there.
here. All right, Garrett, coach him up.
Yeah, he can't drop his head though.
Mm-hmm.
That was the he made the play. He made the play, but one, you can't drop your head because a lot of times you're gonna miss. But two, you're gonna get yourself hurt.
Yep.
Yeah.
And the only time I'm okay with you cut blocking is if the guy is so much bigger than you, or it's a quick pass.
Mm-hmm.
This is not a quick pass. Ooh, unblocked.
That was poor effort on this one. I'll just throw my shoulder in.
Well, I think he was trying to come off to the blitzing backer there.
Look at that. Keep churning.
Yep.
Try to get low here.
Yep. Well, he was going to go outside of 33 and realized he couldn't, so he cut inside. And I mean, geez, he just gains yards.
And what happens if he does put on another 5 to 8 pounds of muscle? Like, does get stronger between the tackles and is able to still retain that speed?
Mm-hmm.
Whew. You got in the way. That's half the battle.
Yeah. Okay.
But that's what I was talking about. You know, he's not great in pass
Well,
protection.
he didn't attack him there. He waited.
I think both
he
these
ran
guys
over.
we're watching tonight aren't great in pass protection.
No.
Oh, man. Again, huge hole. I get it.
Mm-hmm. Draw. They
Has to-
love their draws to Etienne, man.
Has to avoid the ref. Puts a move on him. Gosh.
Man, imagine though if he does decide, you know, the college football thing doesn't happen this year. He does decide to enter the supplemental draft. A team could get really lucky. I mean, a team could get really lucky. Like Bill O'Brien could save his job if he gets
Yeah,
ETN.
but does he have any picks to spend?
Does he
Oh, my
have them?
goodness.
Yeah.
I don't think he's traded anything into next year yet. I don't think. I don't know. He
Yes.
could have.
I mean, and the interesting thing is, you know, we're talking about landing spots, you know, way in advance. You know, there's a bunch of guys that are going to be free agents. Green Bay, I know they just took Dylan, Dalvin Cook. You know, there's a bunch that class.
It's coming through.
Fournette. Go to a lot of those places.
Yeah, Jacksonville could be interesting.
Leonard Fournette is so underrated right now. It's
He is.
disgusting.
He's a good player.
Jeez.
Look at this.
Oh. So he gets skinny too. I like that.
He does.
Got great balance.
Cuts it back in.
See right there, you know, he slips, but he has the idea. Some guys are
My bad.
And this is
Went
one
back
thing I
too
hate.
far.
You're okay. They're okay with it going to the second level and being a good enough run, and he's not. So right here, he cuts outside, uses his block, and then wants to cut inside a 10 here and slips. But at least he has the effort. Instead of like, oh, I'm okay getting tackled, they're going out of bounds. He wants to make the big play.
Surprised he made something out of this. I mean,
Yeah. He gets skinny really well.
let me see the pre-snap read here. How many are in the box? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
6.
6. Yeah, about 6, maybe 7 if you count the edge on the left-hand side here.
Yep.
Breaks.
But look, he's
Just
already contacted
2
there.
tackles. Yep.
Yeah. Bad, poor tackling, but still, like,
Mhm.
I mean, we've seen it consistently where he keeps his legs driving.
Mhm.
And he's so fast off of it, too.
Switches the ball.
Final thoughts,
right.
boys?
I like him
He's
a lot.
amazing.
You guys love him. I like him, too.
It
I have
is
him
hard.
RB1
I mean,
right now in that class, but
It's hard because I was biased coming in. I already knew I loved the kid. Like, I spent so much time watching his tape, which ended up not helping me for the season. But I spent so much time watching his tape already that I kind of already knew what was in store.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, if there was anything he needs to improve on, I think it's definitely his pass blocking.
For sure.
But that can come with time and just getting stronger and stuff like that.
That's the thing. Like, you look at his frame, he has room to fill out. He's not little. I don't think he's this, 5'8", 5'9" running back. Like, he's what, 5'11", I believe?
Yeah. I mean, there's going to be
5'11", 2. Like I said, I think he weighed in at the Clemson weigh-in day at 207 or 208, something like that.
I'm pretty confident that he's going to go in the back of the first round, just based off of the tools that he's going to give to the NFL team that drafts him. Like, they're licking their chops to get this guy in their backfield.
I have heard a rumor, and this was part of the reason that I think Edwards-Helaire went in the first round, that teams are now considering more taking a running back in the first round, maybe not with a top 15, 20 pick, but because they get that fifth-year option, they can delay paying the guys. So they're becoming more open to taking running backs in the first round, especially in that 25 to 32 range.
Makes sense.
I would. I mean, if you get a good back for 5 years and then cut him loose.
Yep.
Or you could even get another year, potentially 2, if you use the franchise tag.
Yep. I mean, I think it makes sense. I think, people have
It's
this
good
whole.
business.
Well, here's the one thing too that just loads me about this, like, oh, running backs don't matter, blah 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 blah, all that kind of stuff. How many of these running backs completely bust? Not a ton. Like, they're going to be solid. Even people hate Fournette. Fournette's still a solid back in the NFL.
Yep.
But quarterbacks, left tackles, tight ends, corners, they get these high picks and they bust completely. Like, the only running back I can remember that busted completely that had these expectations was Trent Richardson, right? Other than that, they all do something. So, all right, let's get into Chuba.
The first time I saw his name, though, I really wanted it to be Chuba.
Chuba Hubbard.
Chuba Hubbard. They missed an opportunity there.
All right, we got TCU here.
I really like Oklahoma State, though. Their offense, Van Gundy.
Van Gundy.
Here we go.
Mike Gundy.
He's a man. He's 40.
Oh, man.
Don't buffer on me.
Look at this.
What do you think this is?
Amateur hour.
What the hell? Da, da, da.
I'm going to be really interested to see how Tylan Wallace comes back. I'm really high on him.
All right.
See how he comes back from his injury in that offense.
Sorry, boys and girls.
You're okay.
Never talking to you again.
Just a pass. Oh, that was probably Tylan right there.
Good
Yeah,
leg
here's
drive
He got
here.
through.
Yep. So that's probably one of the better runs of him fighting a little bit. Can you go back just to the decision here? So.
Not a bad decision. I mean,
Nope.
he hit the hole, got what he could, fought for it.
It's a little messy in there.
So, yeah, he rushed for over 2,000 yards last year. Thought he was going to possibly get the Doak Walker Award. That went to Jonathan Taylor.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, he should absolutely tear up again this year.
For sure.
And you're talking about
Celebrity.
a guy that can add some weight. Sorry, Jared.
No, go ahead.
I mean, 6'1", 207, 209, whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, he
He could
can
absolutely
put
add
on.
another 10 pounds easy.
Man, he
Yeah.
just goes, though, doesn't he?
Yeah. But I think
Both
right
of
there,
these guys.
I think Etienne gets through that. That's
breaks
the
breaks the tackles of the safety there.
See, like right there, can you go back? That's a huge prime example. Go back to the very start of this. Right here, he's hesitating. He's got more hesitation to his game.
Yeah. I mean,
It's a good run.
I think
I'm
he
not
was
trying to, but
okay. I think he was letting
Go.
it develop a little bit here, and then he hits it. But
We'll see too from from the stuff I watched earlier, I had his vision rated much lower than Etienne's as well. We'll see about this game. I shouldn't say much lower, but it was lower.
Ooh. Give him the ball. What are you doing?
Posture asks this one, Garrett, if you want to start on this one, and I can come in.
Sure.
Tips with identifying blocking schemes on the fly. Have trouble differentiating without replay or all 22.
Honestly, I have trouble with it as well. A lot of times, it's actually funny. I try to cover up some of my deficiencies with this, but this will be more of an honest moment. A lot of times, I have to go and prepare ahead of time and try to slow things down, watch for gap tendencies, zone tendencies. Now, a lot of teams will run both, but you'll see a lot more zone tendencies. But I have trouble with it as well at times. So it's difficult. So Nick, I'll let you take that away because I struggle with it at times as well.
Well, I think quickly we shouldn't be looking at plays on the fly. That's not how, you can get a general idea of how good a player is by a highlight tape, I guess, if you want to, but like, that's not what it should be. I mean, we should be what we're doing right now, stopping, going step by step, seeing, did this guy do the right thing? Right here, you can tell it's a pass because of the pad level of the right tackle. He's straight up and down. That's a pass, but going on the fly and going quickly, it's not as good. I think the one thing you look for in terms of identifying quickly if it's zone or gap, for me would be one, if there's no back in the backfield or 10 in the backfield, you're not going to get an ISO. And if you don't see a puller, generally a guard, but if you don't see a puller, then that's generally power, counter, trap. Then you're looking either inside or outside zone. But that's kind of an easy way, I think, to kind of look at it. And then you kind of see how they step. Right. So zone, they're all stepping one way. Mm-hmm. Outside zone, they're taking a huge step. I mean, you want to think of the 49ers in that game against Green Bay. They won going to the outside so much. So linemen are actually going to lose, half a yard to a yard, getting wide and then trying to outflank the defense. So that's one thing. If they're moving laterally, you don't see one guy pulling. Those are kind of some big identifiers that I use.
Yeah, I thought you said that perfectly, Nick. And Paus is one of our Devy writers, so good to see you guys all in here. Phil too. Josh is in here. All the boys.
Well, this is. I mean, we were talking about before. Interesting to see how many people are going to be in here because this is the. You're the.
We got over
now. You know what I mean?
Got over 30 people watching right now, which is what.
Okay.
We're usually around.
Go back here. This is one I don't like. Can you stop it?
Sorry.
Like right after he gets the handoff.
Yeah.
You're okay. This is the difference between an experienced and inexperienced runner, in my opinion. So this right here, this is zone. Everyone's going one way. Okay, even though he's got the fullback leading, and he should be aiming point. I would say would be B gap, front side A. Look, he's already cutting back. Now I get that there could be a hole there, but he's not setting it up, and he should, I would think, push more before the cutback because when you do that, the cutback's gonna be much more downhill, and he's wasting some steps here, in my opinion. Look at that hesitation.
And there was no purpose for it.
Oh, no, a guy in the hole. Okay.
And that's the thing. Like, if you see a situation where, I'm getting nothing here, just lower your shoulder and go. There's no purpose. You're not setting anything up in that instance.
Good ball fake there.
I like that effort.
Look at his juice here, though.
I love that effort.
Look at him go. He's like, oh, I'm going to
so
catch up
fast, man.
Yep. Right now, he's just so much more an athlete than a football player for me.
I agree. I think he's gotten by out athleting everybody so far, so he hasn't had to adapt his game yet.
Oh, I see you.
I mean, not much to do here.
That's not his fault.
The guy beat him.
Yeah, this is
77 got beat play side. You can't let that happen. So, like, I'm not going to discount him on that one. Like, that's not his fault.
Come on, Nick. Let him have it.
First time catching one of these. What is considered the main platform for the stream?
If you're watching it live, it would be Twitch. That would be our main platform. But we record all of these, and these all get ended up. We put all of them on YouTube after the fact. So sometimes it's a few days until they get up.
Well,
but they'll all go to YouTube after this.
we're actually live on YouTube right now too. We're live on.
Does it stay?
Yeah,
Does
it stays. It's all on YouTube too. So
it's the cut ups of the individuals that
I would say
He's just crushing it.
at
Look
this
Jared.
point,
this guy.
our main platform is YouTube because we have almost 2,000 subscribers on there now, whereas Twitch we're at, I don't even know, 600. There's a lot of people.
Sure, I
watching
was saying
Periscope,
it because this is we're running it through Twitch. That's kind of how we got it going and started. But yeah, you're right. We have a much better following now on YouTube.
Yeah, this is on Facebook too. It's on our Facebook page. A lot of people are tuning in from Twitter right now, which is cool. And how we do that is we actually use a service called Restream. So, in case anybody's curious, we use OBS Studio, which transmits to Restream, and Restream broadcasts it out to Periscope, Twitch, YouTube, Facebook, and whatever else platform we want to set up. So, in case anybody else wants to do this.
Jared puts in so many man hours into this stuff, guys, to make us look good. He's a beast. You are, man.
True.
Thanks.
With kids and a newborn. Like, it's insane. I don't know how you do it.
I just love it.
Yeah. But that's the thing is, I mean,
Yeah.
I make these publications. I mean,
Yep.
it's because I enjoy it. Like,
Look at
it's
that effort there.
a lot of time.
I know there was nothing there, but I still appreciate 1, 2, 3. Like he's still trying to make something out of it.
Yeah. Broke a tackle there. That was tough. He had a jump cut, get skinny here. Look at this.
Yeah.
His shoulder to get through.
I will say he's looked a little better between the tackles this game than I remember my first time scouting him.
I know Ray, whom I respect a lot, is super high on Chuba. I think he's his RB1 in this class, so we gotta get him back on the stream.
Yeah, it was fun when we did that the first time.
Not natural catching the ball there. I think he took his
Yeah.
eyes off it. Watch.
And he hesitates.
Yeah. That was actually a knock when I was evaluating him for the 2020. Oh, he's gone.
Whoop, and there's the speed.
Wow.
That's all it takes, man.
Wow.
And you can always tell the sprinters, too, by the way they pick up their knees.
Although 12 was gaining some ground there. I gotta give respect where it's due.
He is closing.
He's closing, man. Look how close he gets at the end here.
He is.
He
I
pulled up a
appreciate
little
that
bit
effort.
there.
I appreciate that.
So here's
Let's
the
look
problem
at that play.
with this play. Here's the problem that I don't like with people is they'll see this and be like, wow, look how great he is. This play only shows one, he was patient a little bit on the cutback, and he's fast.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't show a lot. You know what I mean? Like, that speed's great. How many times are you going to get that in the league? Not many. So I don't, like, this doesn't excite me as much as some of the other runs where he avoids and cuts and gets skinny and gets through a hole and gets those dirty yards. That's the normal running back,
Yeah.
Or if he made a couple guys miss here, you know what I mean? Or something like that. But he ran fast in a straight line.
Yep.
He was fast. We knew that.
Appreciate you guys. Phil, appreciate you, Surface. Thanks for tuning in live. I think they're going to show a replay here.
Phil, wide open spaces. You a Dixie Chicks fan, Phil? I didn't know that.
Phil
I like country.
did a great
I
job
haven't heard
on
a
his,
Dixie Chicks reference in a long time.
Phil did a great job on his pre-draft ranks. This is his first year doing them, and he hit pretty well on what the NFL actually did. So, props
Yeah,
to
he
you,
did a good
man.
job. Yeah, Phil's one of our hardest working guys out there. He's always grinding, trying to find a new angle, something to write about. I appreciate his hustle.
Yeah, he's new to the Devy space, but he's getting his feet wet. We're setting up
He ran over 30 there.
a campus to Canton league right now. Nick, we need a couple more people. Gosh, come on,
Not enough money.
man.
Nick won't do it.
You know how many leagues?
He only plays if it's like $8.
We gotta get in the league together, bro. And what's better than doing a campus to Canton league?
I joined like 4 quarantine leagues, we're going to call them.
To be fair to Nick, you did have an opportunity to be in a league with him, Jared.
Fuck. I know.
And now this episode's NFSW.
I don't care.
It's like right here, we talk about his power, but he gets downhill and runs over the linebacker there. Finishes the run. I'll give him that.
I'm more impressed than I remember. I will say that. And I got to, we have to watch each time for its own thing. We can't just let our initial impression. So, yeah, I'm more impressed than I remember.
This is the Big 12.
Yeah. It is. I mean, to be fair, Etienne was going against ACC, which really isn't.
Yeah, that's
isn't
true.
much different.
That's a pretty good move right here.
I think
Doesn't keep his feet. But watch this. One-on-one a hole, sidestep. But I still want you to keep your feet. I mean, that's the difference between just a back and a good back,
There they are.
Look at that. So, do you think Etienne, did he make the right call? Chuba, did he make the right call? Any of the other guys, do you think all of the guys that decided to go back, do you think that was the right decision for them?
Go ahead, Jared.
Sitting in my position, I'm always about coming out. Like, if you can get second, first round draft capital, come out and get paid, man. But that's not my decision to make. I think they both should have come out personally, but who am I to say,
Well, as I talked about earlier, I mean, there's benefits to both. And, I think, as I talked about earlier, I think that there's a life enjoyment piece that people forget about a lot.
I agree.
I think,
but you can enjoy your life making millions of dollars coming out in the first or second round too. But
you can. I mean, would you rather win a national championship or go to Jacksonville and lose?
I'd rather go to Jacksonville and lose and make $1 million than.
I get that, but
he's already won a national championship, so
you're going to make $1 million next year.
Exactly.
But
most of those players live pretty good. I'm not going to say anything else.
There's been guys.
Most of those players live pretty good.
Right.
I'm just saying, he could. What if he tears his ACL in the playoffs, the college football playoffs, and he drops to the 5th round?
I think most of them do have an insurance policy for that kind of stuff.
I don't think there's any way Travis Etienne drops to the 3rd round. I think he tears his ACL and still goes in the 2nd round.
No.
I think so too.
Really?
So I think that.
But I think we've always been higher on Etienne than you've been.
You lose a year.
Stiff arm.
Yeah, I think Etienne's the only one that probably should have come out. I think Najee has more to prove. Chuba has more to, with his game. I
don't know that Najee has that much more to prove.
Picture how good this class would have been. These 3 guys in it too.
I think Najee has the chance to be the man next year. He was in the shadow of Tua and all the receivers. And now he can be the man. That's what I mean.
I get that. Because I think the big thing that he really showed that I didn't know was that big of a strength was his receiving ability. He's a way better receiver than I gave him credit for. And I think he showed me a lot with that. I think, I know people love Derrick Henry, but I think Najee is better than Derrick Henry.
It's like right here. This is just him not understanding football. The play's designed there, but 90 gets a huge jump off the line, and you can see that he has the leverage of beating the offensive tackle to the inside. He immediately needs to cut this back on the other side, and he doesn't. And gets tackled and gets a minimal gain. Cut back, and then you're one-on-one the hole with someone else, but it sure beats this.
Yeah.
I don't know
or
why
I
he
was
does this.
gonna say like the
Look away
outside
outside?
end. Yeah, the outside end loses contain. Like he's cutting in right now.
Yeah, do something, man. It's just a poor decision.
Oh, that.
Hey.
Yeah. No, I agree. That's why I ran it back. Figured you were gonna bring it up.
And so many times we saw Etienne make the good decision when that happened. That's the difference between these two. That's the difference between being a running back and having good instincts versus hesitating being a good athlete.
Being a
Who was
good
their
athlete.
quarterback?
That was nice.
Who's their quarterback?
Is it Cornelius?
I don't know.
Honestly, don't remember.
But he's fast as shit.
Like is it Taylor Cornelius? I'll look it up.
Ooh, he heard footsteps there.
He's like, no, damn it.
Protect the ribs.
Don't throw that. I saw some of the YouTube comments were saying, like, you run it back way too much. All the stop-start drives me nuts. I'm like, dude, we're watching film here. Like, what do you think this is?
That's.
I don't know why I missed
Sorry.
that. Cornelius was the year before.
Okay. Who is this?
Who is it?
So Spencer Sanders.
Spencer
this past
Sanders.
year.
Yeah, Pals just said it in the chat.
No, sorry about that.
What are you
do this
sorry
for-
about?
You do this so many years, they just blend together, man. There's so many guys. I remember watching Dez at Oklahoma State. I'd be like, he's got some skills.
So what Ram player?
I thought you were about to say speed for a second. I was like, wait, what?
What Rams player does Chuba remind you of?
Oh,
man,
the Rams comp of the week.
Probably Trung candidate, to be honest. Come on, tell me you guys know who he is.
I have no clue.
no idea,
who that
dude.
is.
No
Not
idea.
the
Okay.
slightest clue.
You said
I
that
want-
name, and I was like, what the hell?
I want somebody in the chat that doesn't Google it quick to at least say, hey, they know who Trung candidate is.
Bro, we got to look up some Trunk candidate highlights after this, if you don't mind.
Gosh.
Are we still in the first game here for Chuba?
We are.
This is why he gets all these damn yards, dude. Look at this.
See ya.
I mean, not saying this isn't a skill, because he breaks the tackle here.
He does.
Arm tackle.
The Big 12 tackling is so bad.
Yeah. And having that speed is definitely an asset, of course. Like,
Oh, and he does the track. lean
yeah.
at the end.
Phil remembers Trung. Tom remembers Trung. Jaws remembers Trung.
Thank you.
Man.
You get
I have no clue
What
who
year?
that is.
well, he was a first round pick.
1841.
He was a first round pick from Mike Martz when he was running the big, greatest show on turf. They wanted to add more speed. They reached. They took him. He didn't turn out, but you want another guy. I mean, like a Michael Bennett. If you guys remember Michael Bennett,
Remember Michael Bennett?
Yeah,
Ram.
there's someone I'm familiar with.
Yeah, Wisconsin first round pick, but speed struggles a little bit with other parts of the game.
Yeah.
You could even say maybe even like a CJ Spiller as well.
Miller was
Tom said I'm
so much
also
more
49, so. Sorry, Nick's 50, so.
Yeah, man, I just aged really.
he's an old
well.
man at heart.
But I mean, I've been doing this for years, man. This is like my thing.
I know.
I'm not that much older than you guys. How old are you, Garrett?
29. I'll be 30 in June.
Okay.
I'm
Jared,
30.
what are
Next
you?
month.
30.
30, yeah. So I'm 5 years older than you guys.
I thought you were 40. Just kidding.
Oh.
Good run here. I mean, good job of seeing it.
He actually did a good job of approaching the line there and setting up 30.
Yep, he cut it outside. Yep. Now do that more consistently this next year, then I'll be much more higher.
Here's a good look.
Here's a good look at it. Yep.
Got 6 men in the box.
So right here they're talking about
Set him up outside.
Yeah, good call, Garrett.
Good approach to the line.
inside zone right here. They're talking about reading this. You get 2 doubles at the line of scrimmage. They climb to the backer.
Mm-hmm. It was that step that he took
Yep.
called pressing it.
Mm-hmm.
Presses it outside, gets this linebacker to move, sets up his block, gives him the seam to hit.
Geez, they don't 50. They had trouble getting off on 90 there. It's a double team. They couldn't even get to the backer. Come on, boys. Couldn't get to him.
YouTube froze my stream.
How dare they? For a second, I didn't realize you froze this one intentionally. Like you paused. I was like, oh no, this one's froze too.
Let me see.
All right.
I can keep going. This is the end of this game.
This game's
All
over.
right.
Oh, he's jacked.
TCU.
I mean, I remember
Coward frogs.
TCU hurting Sam Bradford and breaking his collarbone. I'm watching college football and scouting.
All right, cool. They said it's back.
Good.
It could have been the restream service.
All right, let's do one last quick one of Chuba here because we're already running kind of long.
What do you got to do?
Sleep.
Just kidding.
No, actually, I don't sleep. It's a myth.
Are we gonna watch him Trump candidate?
That's exactly what I'm gonna do. Trump candidate. That's what I'm gonna watch. Right? That's his name.
Trung. G at the end. Trung.
I was just being funny.
Yeah,
Clearly didn't work.
Babies in this. See, like even like he doesn't turn and like be aggressive. He like turns and sees and then accelerates. You know.
It's there's a little bit, not in the way that he plays the game, but some of the hesitation in the processing reminds me a little bit of Cam Akers.
More athlete than football player. I'm so proud of you. Look how much you've grown with me over these.
That's
You
weird.
can tell he's just his athleticism makes up for it, but he's just a step slow in seeing a lot of it. And I think that's the thing that's going to hold him back. I will say though, he has moved up for me in terms of his physicality is better than the first time when I watched it. I didn't notice it as much as I'm seeing it this time, or at least in the TCU game anyway.
Hold on, guys. I'm trying to respond to the YouTube crew. Let them know they can watch on Twitch, Periscope, or through our Facebook page.
All right, so I'll explain here. So Josh, real quick, Nick before you get out of here, explain the Erickson threads, Wisconsin ties. So you look behind me here, right? Autographed Alex Erickson jersey. So when I was in graduate school, I only had 2 classes one semester, so I decided to coach football again. And Darlington was a local high school by where I went to college for graduate school, and that's where Alex went to high school. So I got to coach him his senior year in high school. He's such a great kid. He's a small school state player of the year, but he's the only superstar, I guess I'll say, that was the hardest working player on the team that made everyone else do better. And then he walked on at Madison, special teams, part-time receiver, and then made it in the league. So, yeah, I'm super proud of him.
Good tough run here.
Mm-hmm.
He is a strong runner.
Although I'm not sure why he didn't try to cut this back inside there.
Because I don't think he has it in him to think about all that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, maybe. Because right there he could have easily set him up, and I think he would have beat that other safety.
Yep.
Ooh, dropsies.
Come on. Michael Irvin would say what? Come on, man.
Come on, man. Isn't that more Randy?
Oh, it is Randy. I'm sorry. Why did I say Michael Irvin? Do you guys see, isn't CD going to be 88?
Yeah, I did see that.
That's awesome.
Is he? You see Tua's going to be number 1?
That's sweet, too.
No.
Yeah. I like it. I was always in
I
number
just like
7.
receivers that are in the 80s.
Big hole here.
But.
The parting of the Red Sea.
But what does he do here, though? He presses the hole prior to this, which makes that hole even bigger.
Mm-hmm.
He makes 23 flow. He makes this safety that's flying down flow and then cuts it back. Mm-hmm. So here's a good play.
Yo.
Man, we're having all kinds of trouble, it looks like, based on the chat.
Yeah.
We can shut it down, boys, if we want. This is pretty late, actually.
Yeah, not sure what's going on. It looks like the TCU game is showing right now, which is odd.
All right.
Hold on here. Man. Frustrating, dude. Technology, man.
It looks like Twitch is working again.
No, let me explain. OBS software that we streamed through was using the wrong window and wasn't showing the game. So we were talking and they weren't seeing anything.
Got it.
Sorry, everybody. That's my bad.
Oh, don't look at that pass, pro. Or that catch. What a terrible play all the way around.
Can't win them all.
Because the cut block. That was a duck. What's going on with this offense? It's just bad all the way around.
We'll go through this one a little quicker. They got a new quarterback in, or is this the same guy?
I think this is a different quarterback.
It's not Spencer Rattler.
Spencer Rattler.
Other
You
side
guys
of the
think
team.
Spencer Rattler's going to be good?
I think he's got a lot of hype right now. We just need to see. This is the one that we saw before. So this is the play you guys didn't see where he presses the hole and then cuts back and sets up the second level. This is the advanced running. This is being a running back and not an athlete. That's a better play than that one he hit and it was wide open and scores an 80-yard touchdown,
Absolutely.
in my opinion. Ooh, patient.
Little halfback screen.
Patient on that route. Good boy.
Good boy.
Good boy. I wish I had like a soundboard and I could just play that.
Presses. That's okay.
That was good patience there.
Yep. That one's okay.
Yeah. He saw this linebacker.
Dang it! I'm gonna have to move. I'm gonna have to move him ahead of Kylan, aren't I? Gosh darn it!
You're going to drop Kylan down so far
What?
by the time the draft's here.
How are you going to have Kylan?
I like Kylan's tape. He would have. I mean, he would have been like RB like 10 in this class for me, but still, I liked Kylan.
I know.
See, and that's
You're
the
allowed
thing.
to like your guys.
You have to define it. You were like all over DJ Dallas, who's a nice kid. We interviewed him, but like you have to like define. I like him, but he's like RB13. Okay, then we don't have to debate this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I remember when he first came out, we were like, "Oh, I love DJ Dallas's film. Watch the Miami game." So I watched him. Like, okay, like he had like two good plays. Like,
It's love relative to.
but you have to define it.
Fine. I have to define our love, Nick. Whatever.
You know one thing that drives me nuts when people
Don't make me
say
define my love.
elite or great all the time. I was like, man, there's only so many people that are elite and great.
Yeah.
You know,
I almost never use that term.
I used
Drives me
elite
nuts.
in this past draft class, I think twice. Ruggs' speed, Clyde Edwards-Helaire pass catching ability.
That's fair. I'm fine with it.
And his
I like-
elusiveness is like right on the fringe of that.
I think his elusiveness is there, and I think that DeAndre Swift's pressure cutter dead leg is there.
Yeah.
I think Nick's hair is probably there as well.
I need another haircut. I was trying to get.
Dude, I need a
one.
haircut
Oh,
so
don't
bad.
even. There's a reason I'm rocking the hat. Lately.
I'm gonna get one for next week. I'll rock out the flow because it'll look good again.
Wow, I see Nate down here saying P Ryan over Dallas. You used to be a truther with me, Nate. I don't know what happened to you.
All the respect, Nate.
I don't know what happened to you, man.
I like LaMichael in his landing spot.
I actually do like LaMichael too, but
Yo,
can't
Nate,
put him.
you got to do
I'm brand
the
there, bro. Come on.
we're doing a campus to Canton league. A bunch of the guys.
He's recruiting.
You got to do one. You got to do it with us. Nick, we need you to be the 12th.
Oh, you're gonna make it sound like you invited him. I literally texted you about that 20 minutes ago, and now it was Jared's idea that you get invited.
No,
What's the buy-in?
$50.
$800.
No.
You gotta.
All right, high roller.
There's so many $50 leagues and I just don't care about them.
Well, it's with us, and it's a campus to Canton league. Like, show us your stuff, Mr. Devy. What you
I don't know
got,
about
bro?
Devy.
You washed
I don't know
up.
about
Mr.
Devy.
Devy.
Washed up.
Do you feel the peer pressure, Nick?
The
Not at
more
all.
I talk
I'm-
shit, the closer I'm getting you to join.
No, the more I'm just like, I'm good.
All right, we don't want you.
Ooh, that was good. He read that one finally. He didn't run into that
Invite
block
revoked.
with the 96 shot to gap.
Congratulations, you've received 100 messages today in the restream chat. That's cool. We've never seen that before.
Oh boy.
What
I mean, at
happened?
least he read this blitzer off the edge quickly,
Fumbled.
but man.
It's the second fumble this game. Both were recovered by Oklahoma State.
This
Oh.
is like a dead giveaway they're going to run, though. They have that trip so close to the outside of the hash.
What up, J Mike?
Oh, man. I like J Mike.
Yeah, we had a little technical difficulty a little early in on this game, but it didn't last that long.
It wasn't Garrett or my fault. Just saying.
For the record, Nick and I were good.
Jay Rich is
I'm
in here
kidding.
too. Shaboy.
Is he?
Yeah,
It's not an S. It's a CH.
it's Shaboy.
Cha.
Shaboy. Whatever. Fuck you. Oh, sorry.
Wow, the second one.
Hey, I already
tonight.
dropped
Man.
one earlier, so
My goodness.
Man.
listen.
Jeez Louise.
All right, come on, get some carries here. Let's see. I like these sets when they have the two fullbacks or two tight ends.
You like the full house?
It's hard because you can go any direction with it as a coach.
Jay
We
Mike
had a
said,
team that we played in high school that ran a triple option from that, and
Yep.
the quarterback would literally just spin, and
Yep.
it was so difficult to defend as a linebacker.
Yeah, always
he was a
blame the
really good
quarterback.
athlete.
It's Wackerly's fault, of course.
So like this one's not bad. I know he's hesitating a bunch, but like there's a big mess in there, and you know he read the block correctly. Wow, look at that one.
Direct snap.
Ooh, that's a good cut there. Cuts off of 76 pulling,
Yeah.
reads that, cuts inside of there. Kenneth Murray got him, but still, it's a good play.
Yeah. I thought he could have broke that actually.
Yeah,
I
that's the
actually
struggle.
I have no problem with that chop block there. He was
Yeah,
coming in hot.
that's something that a lot of people say about him is he's a terrible pass blocker.
Well, there's plenty of bad ones to go around for him, but I had no problem with that one.
Can we stop real quick and say happy anniversary to Phil and his wife? That's pretty sweet, man.
Oh, it's their anniversary tonight.
That's
Respect,
right. I saw
man.
that in Slack earlier. Congratulations, Phil.
She
That
better be
takes-
asleep though, and you better not be on here while she's awake.
How many years?
On your anniversary.
Hey, that's dedication, bro.
It takes a lot of communication and work, man.
He's
That's
streaming it up on the
relationships.
TV. He's like, we got our wine. We got our film nerds. We're good.
Man, what
If his
this was
wife watches Film Nerds, she's officially my favorite wife outside of my own.
A little bit of Chuba tape might give you a Chuba.
You've been listening to Rich Dotson a little too much. That was a Rich Dotson.
Hey,
right
man,
there.
it popped in my head. I had to say it.
There's just not much here he can do, right? I mean, this is
No.
zone.
Oklahoma's doing a good job collapsing.
Yeah, that's not a lot he can do there. But that's when he needed to get. Here it's 4th and 1.
Yeah,
It's too much hesitation.
too much dancing.
On 4th and 1. And he fumbled again?
She's awake. She heard. 3 years. Congrats, man. That's awesome.
Oh, that's really cool, man.
It'll be 3 years this year for my wife and I, too.
You've only been married 3 years, Jarek? Man, that
I think.
talk about feeling old. That makes me feel old.
Well,
We're
I'm
going
older
on
than
we're
you.
going on 8, bro.
Oh. Well, shit.
You're
I
22?
think it's 3.
Huh?
22 when you got married?
I just turned 23.
Wow.
Yeah.
See, this is not a bad run. Patient. Made one cut back.
No, I
another
just turned
spot on one.
22. Yeah, I just turned 22.
Chuba's
That's not a
good.
bad run.
I do that for every prospect that I like. I'm like, oh, they're good.
Oh, he's good.
He's good.
Oh wow, what a rollout here. Quarterback, what are you doing, man?
This is clearly not the same quarterback.
That's Jay.
One guy was a
Wack
fantastic athlete.
Jay
The other
Wack in high
guy's this
school.
one.
Running all over.
That was not fast.
But I feel like he's like Tommy Maddox out here.
What? Who you're pulling out, guys?
Hey, there was a season that Tommy Maddox was the hotness.
No. Oh, are you gonna do it? Yeah. There it is. Look, there's highlights.
Madden.
Longest run in 2003 was 38 yards.
Inside the 20-yard line this year.
Why is that titled like that?
Is that,
Oh,
is
boy.
that Matt Hasselbeck at quarterback?
Behind him. Motion on the near side. He'll hand the ball off. Here's Kennedy out across the 10.
Okay, a little Chuba here.
See? Am I wrong?
Number 32, look.
45-yard line and out of bounds at the 47. Longest run of the year, gotta be. Yes, it is.
Good job, Trung.
40-yard run, that's the longest of the year.
What do you think?
What a name. I've never heard of anyone in the history of my life named Trung.
J. Mike. Oh, go
Go
ahead.
ahead. You got it.
For us, it was definitely Etienne. We like Chuba, and actually, after watching these couple games, my opinion has improved of him. I do think he's a tougher runner than I had originally given him credit for, but I don't think that he's nearly as good at processing the game as Etienne is. And I think Etienne, although Chuba is faster, I do think Etienne has better acceleration than Chuba does, which I think is actually on the low much more important going to the NFL level.
Little Trey Lance love in here. I love
I see
it.
the only one with a picture.
I got to get the rest of them updated.
Oh, okay. I was like, is he the only one worthy of
Nah, I won't get him in
I'll
there.
say this. I think the hype's getting a little out of control, though.
Let's wait till you see mine. Oh, 7.
Oh, moving on.
Oh, I do have Najee over Chuba still. See?
It's out of
to
control.
the side.
I like me some Tamori and Terry, too. I can't wait to watch him.
Yeah, I
Stayed
love
up
Terry.
for the truncated. Nice. Yeah, I also have Etienne well over Chuba.
What up,
I have
Shaq?
Najee over him, too.
Yeah, so Etienne over Chuba for all three of us, I believe. Nate asks, I know it's not the position we're looking at tonight, but does anybody have Lance over Fields like Matt Miller? I do not.
I don't at this point, but I honestly have not watched enough Lance to confidently say one way or another.
I mean, here's what you have to know, okay, about North Dakota State. I understand that Carson Wentz made it, but I remember everyone going crazy about Easton Stick. He didn't make it. And, well, or not yet, but
I'll say he's had one season.
It's not going to happen. Okay.
No, I don't think so either.
But they're a better version of Alabama or Clemson with the amount of championships that they win year in and year out. People forget about that. They are crushing everybody with better offensive lines, better weapons, better everything. And it needs to be put into context. I know he had an unbelievable year last year, but you should look at Easton Stick's years. Look at everyone else who's been at that program. They crush. And that's something I think needs to be put into context. He should not be ranked this high. And also Matt Miller had Donovan Peoples-Jones as a round one prospect.
First round guy.
So
I think Lance might end up being a first rounder, though. I have had the chance to look at him a bit, and he just has a lot of tools that you like to see.
well, I'm not saying he's bad. I've seen him too. I'm not saying he's bad, but the hype's
Yeah.
like, come on.
I mean, it's definitely early, but I mean, the hype's almost everybody right now. It's like now that they're starting to dig in or calling him a first round pick. So, I mean, if a guy's going to be a first rounder as a quarterback and you're ranking him in a super flex league, I think putting him up there, I mean, I wouldn't put him up above Trevor Fields either, but putting him up there in the top 12 isn't far fetched, in my opinion.
Not in super flex. I'm fine with that. But I think I have him, 8, 9, 10, somewhere in there.
Yeah, Shaq, we need a couple. We need like 6 Lance reels if you can get your hands on those.
Go ahead, man. Go ahead. We'll do it.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably tough to find. I did. So, Gary, I know you have YouTube TV too. You can add North Dakota State to your library. So if they're ever
Can
on,
you?
yeah,
So we can get him for this
they'll record.
coming season.
Yeah.
Real quick, Quadri Allison worth a stash? I think so. Do they still have Smith there?
Ito Smith?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
I
still
like
there.
Ito coming out, but I mean, Quadri Allison. I mean, the thing that's weird with him is his best year was the cancer year
Of James Conner.
and then when he had a chance to be the man, he wasn't. So I think he's worth a stash. But I mean, when I say stash, I mean, how deep are the rosters?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I just don't know what it's going to be, because when you couldn't be the man at Pitt when you had the shot, I don't know why you're going to be the man in the NFL.
Yeah, it would have to be 30 or more for me. 30 or more players on your team. Otherwise, I wouldn't be interested.
Choice. Can't believe we got a
Yeah.
50-50 split on that poll. That was
Split
funny.
vote.
The 602 votes. 301. Like what? But yeah, excited to do that one. Thanks everybody. Appreciate everybody joining in. Appreciate all the comments tonight. It's been a fun chat. So until next time,
Deuces.
we out of here.